All right, so we're going to start out in a comfortable position, seated position. If you don't want to be seated, you can be in a reclined position. You guys can still hear me, yeah? Hopefully. Okay. So we're going to start out in a seated position, and you can feel free to close your eyes here. You can feel free to be in a reclined position if you don't want to be seated, but we're going to be starting out our warm up and seated. So just starting to close the eyes, lengthen up through the crown of the head. Sitting in a tall, upright posture without being rigid. Noticing the places of contact on the mat. And tuning into the breath. So it might sound strange, but being aware that you're breathing in as you're breathing in, and being aware that you're breathing out as you're breathing out. Knowing that you're breathing in, knowing that you're breathing out as this living, breathing person right now. Sometimes it can be helpful to say to yourself as you breathe in, breathing in. As you breathe out, saying to yourself, breathing out. And oftentimes from sitting for long periods of time, gravity can kind of take a toll on us, and we just get smaller and smaller and more compressed. So this can be a bit of an antidote for that. Consciously elongating the spine as you breathe. And taking a few more mindful breaths here, settling into this moment. And any time throughout the practice today, it may be helpful to say to yourself, I know that I'm breathing in, breathing out. I know that I'm breathing out. If you find that the mind is wandering or worried, simply coming back to that mantra of being right here. And as you're ready, we'll take the hands and place them on the shoulders so that the elbows are facing in front of us. And just take some circles with the elbows, starting to warm up a little bit in the upper body. We're going to be working a fair amount with twisting today. And twisting is said to relieve tension in the body. It's said to be really good for the spine, for spinal health. Taking that circle in the opposite direction now. It's also known for opening up the muscles in the chest, the shoulders, the hips. From here, we'll take the hands and very gently place them at the back of the head, maybe even taking the fingertips to the base of the skull and purposely kind of putting a little pressure there to elongate the neck. All the while, as we twist throughout the class, we want to keep a lengthened spine. With the next exhalation, tucking the chin, rounding the upper back, drawing the shoulder blades apart. And then with the inhalation, lifting the chest, opening up. Continuing to move with the breath, warming up through the upper body. And then eventually settling back in center, we're going to place the right hand down, lift that left elbow up, gaze can come up or not, pressing the hand into the back of the head and the back of the head into the hand, encouraging length in the spine. And then as you exhale, rotating that left elbow down towards the right knee and inhaling, opening back up. Taking that a couple more times with breath, feeling the shoulders stretch, feeling the chest open. And continuing to be aware that you are a living, breathing person in this moment. On the next inhalation, pausing up, and we'll take again that right hand to the back of the head, lengthen and elongate through the back of the neck. And then place the left hand down, open up through the chest, gaze can come up too if you'd like. And then exhaling, taking right elbow towards left knee and inhaling, opening up. Feeling that space through the side body, the chest, the shoulders. And the next time that elbow is reaching up, you can pause in the up position and then release that top arm. Take the hands to the knees and round through the upper back, tucking the tailbone, drawing the shoulder blades apart, tucking the chin, and inhaling, sweeping the chest open. Gaze can come up. Taking that a few more times with breath, warming up through the back. It's hard to have a lengthened spine if it's not a little bit lubricated. So just continuing to warm up in the upper body, kind of preparing for some of the twists that we're going to be doing throughout the class. And the next time you're up, pausing up, lengthening once again, establishing that sense of rooting down through the hips, the sits bones, and reaching up through the crown of the head. Inhaling, floating the arms up, elongating a bit more. And with the next exhalation, you can take that left hand over towards the right knee and take that right hand behind you as you twist. Continuing to lengthen all the way from your base through the crown of your head. And then with the next inhalation, reaching up here and exhaling, switching sides. Breathing space into the torso. Couple more breaths here. And with the next exhalation, coming back to center, we're going to take the legs out in front of us. And if you have a strap or a belt, you can use it. If you don't, it's not a problem. You can take a hold of the legs and climb down the legs rather than using the strap. If you have a strap, you're taking that strap and looping it around the soles of the feet, lifting up really tall through the torso, and then finding your natural hinge at the hips and folding forward, keeping length in the spine as you fold. Breathing here, purposely elongating that space between the pelvis and the rib cage, purposely keeping the neck long. Taking one more breath here, waking up the hamstring muscles. And on the next inhalation, rising all the way back up. Inhaling, reaching the arms up here. And exhaling, taking a twist over towards the left. Left hand will come behind, right hand can come to that outer right knee. Outer left knee, rather. Feet can be flexed, legs are active, kneecaps up towards the ceiling. And then inhaling, reaching up, and exhaling, taking that twist in the opposite direction, staying really firm through your whole base. Legs are active. And then coming back through to center. Option here to use the strap or take the hands behind the right leg. We're going to raise that right leg up. You can take your left hand behind you for support, or if you want to have both hands on the strap, totally fine too. That leg is up, getting a stretch here. You can rotate the ankle around or sway it side to side a little bit. And then if you're using a strap, the strap is just going to be held now by the left hand, and we're going to guide that right leg just a little ways over towards the left, getting a stretch here through the IT band area, outer hip area. Breathing here. And then bringing that leg back to center. You can take your right hand either to your calf or ankle or back of the leg, or you can take your right hand to the strap. We're going to take the left hand behind us and take a twist over towards the left. So an open twist. Breathing here. Lengthening through the spine. And then exhaling, coming back to center and taking that twist the opposite way over towards the right now. And exhaling, coming back through to center. And we'll switch sides, taking that strap around the back of the left leg or hands to the back of the left leg. Taking that leg up. You can take a hand behind you for support if you want to. Keeping the right leg firmly rooted, active. And then taking that left leg over towards the right a little ways. So you're getting a stretch here through the IT band, outer hip area. Coming back to center, we'll take that open twist over towards the right. Right hand comes behind you, chest lifts, legs are both super active. And then switching sides, taking the left hand behind and twisting towards the left. Couple nice deep breaths here. And coming back through to center, releasing that down. We're going to make our way to all fours. If you don't want to be in all fours, you could stay in a seated position. Otherwise, coming to all fours. We're going to take now the left hand and place it gently behind the head and inhale that left elbow up. And exhale, kind of take it down and across, getting a stretch through the upper back, inhaling up and exhaling, taking it across. Taking that one more time, inhaling up and exhaling, taking it across. Taking that left hand down, we're going to take the right leg back. And so we're going to take that right leg, so we're on the ball of the foot. You can go forward and back a little bit here. Getting a stretch through the back of the right leg, through the calf, the ankle a little bit. And then once again, taking that left hand behind the head, elongating through the neck, inhaling up and exhaling, bringing that elbow across and inhaling up. Taking that one more time, exhaling down, inhaling up and open. Now we're going to take that arm long and thread it all the way through so that you're kind of resting now on the left shoulder. Twisting the chest over towards the right. One more breath here. Continuing to square up the hips and twist through the upper back. And then we're going to open that left arm up once again. If you'd like, this is a little bit tricky, but if you'd like, you can take that right leg up, actively pressing through the right heel, actively elongating through the spine. And then from here, exhale kind of to balance, sweeping that left arm under, and then inhaling, opening back up. You can take a slight bend through that right elbow as you thread through, working on balance and continuing to move for a couple of rounds of breath. You can also have that right heel, you can keep it planted. Taking that one more time, exhaling and inhaling, releasing down from that. Resetting yourself a bit. If you want to press back to child's pose briefly, feel free to do that. And we'll take the right hand and place it at the back of the head, elongate the neck. Inhale, open, and exhale, take that right elbow across. Taking that with your own breath, exhaling across, inhaling, open. Feeling the rotation through the core, the front body, the back body. And releasing down from that. Now we're going to take the left leg back, and you can kind of a little bit here, just rock forward and back, slightly stretching out the calf muscle. And then once again, taking that hand to the back of the head, exhaling down and inhaling up. If at any point that bothers your neck, your shoulders, certainly feel free not to do it. From here, we're going to reach that right arm all the way under and find a twist. So feeling that rotation now through the right shoulder, you can rest on the side of the face. Trying to square up the hips a little bit so those frontal hip points both face down and the chest spins over towards the left. From here, inhaling back up, you can keep that left ball of the foot planted or raise it up as you inhale, open, and then exhale, threading through. Inhaling, open, exhaling, threading through. Utilizing the strength in the core, the upper body strength. And releasing down from that. From here, you can either come to your belly and take some windshield wiper legs, or you can take the big toes together, take the knees apart and sink back into your child's pose. Walking the arms forward, elongating through the spine. Sometimes it feels nice here to rock the forehead back and forth a little bit, massaging the forehead, the brow. And from here, we're going to slide all the way forward. So you can parch the feet so they're a little bit wider than mat width and come into a modified cobra. Upper arms nice and close to the body, legs are wide, chest lifts. And then begin to place the big toes back together and sink back into child's pose. Taking that movement at your own pace, big toes part, inhale, open to cobra, slide all the way forward, lift the chest, and then press back. Big toes come back together, knees stay apart, sink back to your wide-legged child's pose. And then inhale, articulate the spine forward, coming through to cobra. Maybe taking that one more time, exhaling back, and inhaling, articulating all the way forward, coming into that modified cobra. Exhaling back. Here you can stay in child's pose. You can sway side to side through the hips a little bit, or if you'd like to, you can press back to downward facing dog, pedaling out the feet here, pressing the chest back towards the thighs, finding that sense of elongation through the spine. And beginning to walk those feet up towards the top of the mat. We'll inhale for a halfway lift, elongate the spine, maybe even a sense of a little bit of a back bend here. Weight is in the balls of the feet, outer hips reach back, torso is lengthened. And then we'll exhale, soft knees fold forward. Feel free here to take your opposite hands to your opposite elbows and sway the torso side to side, keeping the feet firmly rooted. And then releasing those hands, tracing them up the legs, and making your way up to standing. Arms can reach here. Exhale, release the arms down, and we'll take the legs wide. Toes can angle out a little bit. We'll come into a squatting position. So hands will be on kind of those inner thighs, encouraging the knees open, encouraging the knees to kind of follow along with the toes. And then from here, taking the right shoulder over towards the left knee, encouraging that right knee to stay open still. And then switching sides, encouraging that left knee open as you take the left shoulder over towards the right knee. And taking that at your own pace a couple of times. Lubricating the shoulders, the back. Finding a bit of organic movement here. Doesn't have to be a particular way. Just feeling into the posture and what feels right for you. And then pressing the feet all the way up, coming up to standing, taking the feet a little bit more parallel. We'll reach the arms up. Take the left hand and slide it down the left leg. Right arm will reach up and over. And then starting to take that right shoulder down, right arm down. We'll sway it all the way down through the middle. And then bring that left arm up for a side bend on the opposite side. Exhaling, taking that left arm down and sweeping that right arm up. And you can, if you want to, if it doesn't make you feel like you're gonna fall over or make you dizzy, you can follow the arm with your gaze. Kind of reciprocating the arms, feeling the side body stretch, feeling perhaps a little more fluidity in the chest and the shoulders as you continue to move. And the next time you pass through middle, you can take the hands and just place them out in front of you, maybe a little bit in front of your mat. Keeping the right hand right underneath your face with the elongated spine. We'll take the left arm and reach it up towards the ceiling. Encourage the right hip to stay in line with the left. Encourage the tailbone and the crown of the head to reach in opposition. That long spine as you twist. firmly rooting through your right hand so you're not dumping a lot of weight into the right shoulder. And then exhaling, taking that left hand down and reaching the right arm up. Establishing your lengthened spine all the way from the crown of the head back through the hips and the tailbone. Firmly rooting now in that left hand so you're lifting up and out of the shoulder. Taking one more breath here, inhaling, and as you're ready, exhaling, taking that right hand down, and we'll heel toe the feet back together so they're about hip width distance. And then on the next inhalation, coming all the way up to standing, reaching the arms up here, and exhaling, releasing down. So we're going to do a few things with chair pose. So if you want, you can have the feet sealed together, or you can have the feet about hip width distance. Sometimes if you happen to have a block, it can be really helpful, especially with twisting. It can be really helpful to place the block between the thighs and give that block a little squeeze just to stabilize through the low body. You don't have to do that. And if you don't have a block, you could use a book, or you could just kind of imagine even that there's a block there and you're squeezing the thighs together. From here, hands can come to the heart to start, and we'll sink back as if we were going to sit in a chair behind us. If there's a lot of curve in the low back here, think about lengthening that space if it feels condensed or if it feels like it's arching and causing any strain in the body. See if you can make the tailbone a little heavier, the spine a little longer. And we're going to begin to reach the left arm back and the right arm forward, trying to continue to square the hips, square the knees and the ankles, and then take that left arm forward and right arm back. Continuing to keep knees, hips, and feet facing forward and even. And then taking that right arm forward, we'll take the left arm back once again, opening through the chest as much space is available and keeping the legs steady. Exhaling, coming back to center, and then inhaling, reaching the right arm. Breathing here. And coming back to center. If you were using a block, you can release the block. Root firmly through the feet. Inhale, reach the arms up. And then exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forward. Knees can be soft. Crown of the head can be heavy. Inhale for your halfway lift. Lengthen the spine, elongate. And exhale, fold forward. Let's step the right leg back into a lunge position. Make sure that you're wide enough on the width of the mat so that you're not like in a tightrope, because that can make it really hard for balance. Also, make sure you're not too long on the length of the mat. That can also make it really hard for balance. From here, you can have blocks, you can have a chair, or you can keep your hands on the mat. And we're going to start to lengthen in whatever range of motion is available to you. Lengthen through that left leg. And then bend through that left knee. Arms can reach up. Exhale, lengthen. So we're working on balance, of course, here. And hands can tap down to chair, mat, whatever is accessible for you. And then inhale up, bend through that front left knee, open up through the chest. Exhaling down and inhaling up. Taking that one or two more times. Exhaling down, straightening the knees, and inhaling up. From here, we're going to take an open arm twist over towards the left. So that left arm is going to reach back, right arm will reach forward. Knees can be a little bit soft here. That front knee is going to be bent. And then as you inhale to turn forward, both knees can come straight and arms can reach up. Exhale, bend to twist. And inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend and twist. And inhale, lengthen at your own pace. Trying to keep those frontal hip points mostly facing forward as you twist through the upper body. And then as you're ready, taking hands down to the mat or the chair, blocks, whatever you happen to be using at home. We'll plant that right hand and then reach that left arm up towards the sky. Breathing here. Exhaling, releasing the left hand. We'll take the left foot back to meet the right in downward facing dog, pedaling the feet out or not. Finding stillness or not. Reaching the hips up and back, elongating the torso, finding that natural hinge at the hip and keeping the spine long. Sometimes if we fold at the waist, we get a really kind of rounded downward facing dog, but think about finding that natural hinge at the hips, pressing the chest back towards the thighs, firmly rooting through all sides of the hands. On the next inhalation, we'll come through to plank on the knees or not. Core is firm, crown of the head and heels reach in opposition. And then we'll exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale up for cobra, chest reaches forward. Hands can kind of traction back a little bit to pull the heart a little bit more forward. Legs are active, pelvis stays rooted. And releasing down from that. Pressing back to down dog or child's pose, or you could stay on the belly and take those windshield wiper legs. From here, we're gonna find a slightly shorter stance in your down dog. So kind of a mix between a forward fold and a down dog. Heels planted, and we'll take the right hand and reach it around to the back of the left leg. You can take your gaze underneath that left armpit, neck is long, hips stay pretty level. Replace the right hand and take the left hand to the back of the right leg for a twisting down dog on this side. Neck stays nice and long. And then replace that left hand. We're going to step the right foot forward now into our lunge position. Right knee stacked on top of right ankle. Just double check that your feet aren't crisscrossed or tightrope, but wide enough on the width of the mat so you've got some stability, solid base. And we're going to lengthen through that right leg, whatever feels lengthened to you. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. And then inhale, taking those arms up towards the sky, bending through the right knee. And exhaling, straightening, arms float down, spine stays long, hinging at the hips. Inhaling, rebending, reaching. And exhaling, straightening, floating the hands down. Taking it as slow as you'd like to take it for stability. Rebending that right knee, and we'll meet in the upright position. From here, we'll lengthen both of the legs, arms reach up, and then bending through the knees, taking that open arm twist over towards the right. Right arm reaches back, left arm reaches forward. Don't feel like you have to take it super far. Feel free also to hold on to something for balance if you've got a wall nearby. Maybe Maybe feeling a stretch through that outer left hip as you twist. And taking that maybe one more time, exhaling to twist. And inhaling, open. Rebending that front right knee, planting the left hand and reaching the right arm up towards the sky. Gaze can come up if you'd like. Rooting firmly through that left hand so we're not dumping a lot of weight into that left shoulder. And then exhaling, sweeping the right hand down. We'll step the left foot forward to meet the right, coming to a halfway lift, lengthening through the torso. And then exhaling, softening the knees and folding back in. Here again, you can take opposite hands to opposite elbows, maybe sway a little bit side to side. Releasing the elbows, maybe tracing the hands up the legs as you come all the way up to standing, reaching the arms up here. And exhaling, releasing the arms down. Inhaling, arms reach up. And we'll exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. On the next inhalation, find your halfway lift, reach the chest forward. And exhale, soft knees, fold forward. We're going to step the left foot back. This time we're going to take warrior one. So that left foot fully plants down, left toes angle up towards the top left corner of the mat. Stance is just slightly shorter than it was in lunge, because we want to keep that left foot fully rooted down as we lunge through the right knee and make our way up to standing. So this is another one. You just want to check on your base. You don't want to be like crisscrossed or like you're walking a tightrope. Feet are a little bit wider apart than that. Chest can turn forward and arms can reach up. Inhaling, reaching up really actively through the fingertips, and then exhaling, feeling as though you're plugging the feet back down onto the mat, rooting down, working in opposition. So all the while feet are rooting actively down. Low body is heavy and upper body is light and lifting. And we'll exhale, sweep the arms out to the sides. You can kind of grab a hold or hug a hold of your right leg, grabbing a hold of opposite elbows and allowing the belly and chest to connect to that right thigh. Inhale, sweep open, keeping that bend in the right knee. And exhale, sweep down. Chin can tuck slightly. And then inhale, reach up. We'll take that one more time. Exhale, sweep down. And inhale, reach up. From here, we're going to take, you see here, the right hand can come either to the low back, or it can come kind of to that left leg. We're going to take a bit of a twisting warrior one. So left arm reaches up kind of on a diagonal as you twist open kind of on a diagonal over towards the right. Chest is open, neck is long. And then coming back to center. Hands can come to the heart. You can shorten your stance just a bit as we prepare to come to warrior three. So you can, in warrior three, it's always fine to keep those left toes, just the toe tips kind of down for balance, or you can work with tipping forward a little bit more, reaching that left leg back and paralleling the torso with the ground. Crown of the head reaches forward, left heel reaches back. Hands can be on a wall, a chair, at heart center. And we'll release that left foot down. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold and hinge. Inhale, find a halfway lift. And then exhale, fold back in. From here, we're going to step the right foot back into warrior one. So you just double check that your heels are either in alignment or probably just a little bit wider than the heel to heel alignment. Right toes angle up towards the top right corner of the mat. And there's enough space on your length so that you can continue to root down through the right pinky edge of your foot rather than being uplifted. Arms can reach up here, and just take a moment to plug the feet down onto the mat as you lift and lengthen through the upper body. Moving with the breath here, exhaling, taking a hold and hugging your left thigh, and inhaling, reaching up. Taking that at your own pace, and maybe tuning back into our mantra of knowing that we're breathing in as we're breathing in, knowing that we're this living, breathing person in this moment. Knowing that we're breathing out as we're breathing out. Rounding the spine and then articulating up. The next time you're in that up position, you can stay here. You can take your left hand now and place it either on the low back or the left leg and reach that right arm kind of up and over in a bit of a twist. Breathing here, keeping the warrior one legs if possible. And exhaling, coming back to center. You can shorten your stance a little bit in preparation for warrior three. If you want to grab a hold of something for balance, please do. And then hinging forward. Right leg reaches back, crown of the head reaches forward. Right kneecap and right toes turn down towards the mat rather than going out towards the right if possible. These are just little fine-tuning things. Breathing here. And then making your way back up to stand. I'm going to do a couple of balance poses here, a couple more balance poses. Firmly rooting the feet down and elongating through the spine. We're going to take our left knee and hug it in towards the chest. You can have your left hand on a wall or a chair. And then from here, keeping that right hand on the left knee, we're going to take a twist. So you can take your left hand and take it to a wall or a chair, or you could reach it back behind you. That left hand can either come to the low back or it can simply reach, gazing at a focal point, staying active here as best as possible through that left foot. And then gently untwisting. Left hand comes back and release down from that. Reset yourself and we'll hug now that right knee in towards the chest, keeping that right foot flexed and active. Breathing here, continuing to elongate through the spine, the torso. And then beginning to take that twist over towards the right. Left hand can stay planted on the right leg. Right hand can come to a wall or chair or reach back. And And gently untwisting from that, releasing that right leg down to meet the left. From here, I'm going to do one more little series I think we have time for. So we're going to, let's step the right leg back. We're going to start out with warrior two. So right leg back, left knee is lunging. We're going to take that right hand and slide it down the right leg, reach the left arm up and over. And then exhale, come through to extended side angle, reach the right arm up. Left hand can kind of rest here on the floor, or you can take your left forearm down to the left leg. And then come back up to warrior two. From here, there's going to be an option to come into half moon pose or revolved half moon. So taking a hold of your block or your chair, if you have one, planting your left hand, we're going to do a little switch here. So we're going to start out in half moon, planting that left hand, reaching the right leg up. Now you can have both of your hands on your chair or your block if you want to. And if you want to take this into revolved half moon, you're going to take your right hand down to the block and reach that left arm up. Right leg continues to reach back, chest comes open, right foot is super active, hips are square. And then taking a little more time with that if you'd like, or releasing the right foot down, just taking a bit of a pause here in forward fold. And then inhaling, coming all the way back up. We'll step the left leg back now. Left hand can come down, right arm reaches up. And then exhale to extend. And then coming back up to warrior two. From here, we'll make our way into half moon pose. So you can take that right hand down and you can work with half moon pose. You can have both hands down, lifting the hips up and open. Or if you want to experiment with that revolved half moon, you're taking your left hand down, squaring the hips, and then reaching that right arm up. So you're twisting through the torso. Squaring up the hips, staying really strong and active through that left foot. And then whenever you are ready, just simply releasing down from that. If you want to take opposite hands to opposite elbows, again, you can take a little sway side to side. And then from here, making your way down to a seated position. All right. So hands can, that got me a little bit out of breath, all that twisting. So from here, we're going to come into our boat pose. So with boat pose, you can keep your hands behind your thighs, you can keep your heels rooted down, or you can elevate. Either way, you're going to lift the chest up towards the sky and kind of find that balancing point. It might kind of be between the tailbone and the sits bones, or just a little bit back from the tailbone. That slightly topsy-turvy point where you do have to engage the core to stay lengthened, to stay balanced. And then releasing down from that, hugging the knees in towards the chest, wrapping the left arm around the knees, and taking the right hand behind as you take a twist to the right. Lengthen the spine, lengthen through the crown of the head. Stay nice and steady through the low body, Rooting the feet down. Rooting the sits bones and hips down. And then coming back to center, and we'll wrap that right arm around the knees. Take the left hand behind as we take a twist to the left. And releasing from that. From here, if you have a block or book or pillow or something to hold on to, feel free to grab that. If you don't, you can take your hands out in front of you as if you were holding on to something. Finding that balancing point in boat pose with heels planted or not, and we'll take that block over towards the left and over towards the right, rotating the torso, but keeping that low body super steady. Working on strengthening through the oblique muscles. And releasing from that. We'll set that block aside and make our way to a reclined position. Go ahead and hug the knees into the chest right away. Massage the low back, rock side to side a little bit. Allowing the body to breathe, bringing the awareness to the breath. Inviting a bit of effortness into your practice right now, effortlessness. And coming into a place of stillness. Taking the arms out to a T. And knees up towards the ceiling, shins up towards the ceiling. Knees can be stacked right on top of the hips. Feet can be flexed or pointed. And we're going to take the legs over towards the right a little ways, using the core to steady them, and then using the core to pull them back to center and over towards the left a little ways. So you don't want to go too far. You only want to go so far as you can while keeping it really under control, not painful, and not so far that you can't use your core to pick the legs back up. So it might be a very small range of motion. It might be a little larger. Trying as best as possible not to use momentum here. And then coming back to center, placing the hands on the kneecaps. We'll stir the hips a little bit, so bringing the knees out and then hugging them back in. And reversing directions. We'll hug just the right knee in towards the chest. Left leg can be long on the mat. We'll take that right knee and guide it across the body with the left hand. The right arm can reach out towards the right, chest comes open. You can keep your gaze up towards the ceiling, or you could take it out over the right shoulder if you wanted to. Trying to lengthen the space here between the right hip and the right rib cage. And coming back to center, we'll hug that left knee in towards the chest. And then with the right hand, guide that left knee across the body. Coming into a spinal twist. Opening up the chest. Reaching that left arm, maybe taking the gaze out towards the left. And And then gently coming back to center. You can elongate through the whole body if you'd like to, or if you'd like to take a bend in the knees, you can. For today, I'm going to take a bend in my knees and just kind of let them fall in on one another, taking my feet out to the outer edges of the mat. You can take the hands and place them on the belly if you'd like to, or let them rest at your sides. And invite a sense of letting go here. Invite that into your practice. Inviting some softness into the hands, the belly. If you'd like to, you can come back to that mantra. Breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. And if at any point you want to shorten that to simply breathing in as you breathe in, breathing out as you breathe out. I came across a little quote this morning about twists and yoga. And so here is what it says. Yoga is about clearing away whatever is in us that prevents our living in the most full and whole way. Please feel free to stay in a resting position or begin to make your way up to seated, whatever suits you in this moment. I want to thank you all so very much for sharing your practice and sharing your positive energy with each other and with me. Namaste.